Grand Risings, brothers and sisters. Grand Risings, brothers and sisters. I hope you all are having a wonderful rising this morning and you all are feeling refreshed. We're going to be in Nehemiah 4 today. Yes. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about building. Father wants us in Nehemiah 4 today. Going to play a song really quick by our brother Humble for Yah. It's called Guard.
Yeah. Always ask a question, but they never ask you how. First they watch you build it, then they try to tear you down. Always watch your energy when people come around. Silence be more than words, so I do not make a sound. Come on. I feel like the rock, cause I've been born my life. I feel like the rock, cause I was born to fight. Hey, can't let no jabroni take what the most I gave me. Cars right, reach out. Hey, Zion, let me get them down, cause I be seeing not hear me. Why you always not coming around trying to use me for my energy? You acting like you're not paralyzed, but deep down you're not feeling me. Your presence is a sickness. When you come around, you're not healing me. It's simple. Come against me, the most I come against you. It's simple. Them laws and my shit don't represent you. It's simple. You said for that word sound like a cancer. It's simple. You spare food, don't like what's on the menu. Yeah. They faking that make up to me. I see through your Maybelline. Spirit create my faith. I call it Maybelline. He tell me it's meet the million. That's why we chasing dreams. This is not last game, man. We do not chase the green. But the most high is awesome. And if you in doubt while you talking, I'm on a path that won't be often. The lake of fire where they toss them. Tell them repent very often. If they ignore, will it cost them? Can't stop to be exhausted. Don't interrupt me while I'm talking with questions. Always ask a question, but they never ask you how. First they watch you build it, then they try to tear you down. Always watch your energy when people come around. Silence be more than words, so I do not make a sound.
I feel like the rock, cause I've been born my life.
I feel like the rock, cause I was born to fight. Hey, can't have no jabroni, take what the most I gave me. God right, reach out. Hey, look, Kate, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. We in the last days right now. Everybody on his way back. I know y'all know about the parable of the virgins, right? 10 virgins. You know what I'm saying? One of the Akim was talking to me about that parable one day. He was like, "Man, look, it's gonna come a time where we gotta be on the move. And we gonna have them lens in our hands, right? And it's gonna have oil in it. And it's gonna be lit. Right? And the wind gonna be blowing. Those 4 winds, right? We gotta guard our light, because if we don't guard our light, man, that light gonna blow up, that lamp gonna blow up. You know what I'm saying? Stay in the faith. Stay encouraged. No matter what winds come. See, whole time the Father hold back the winds. Just so you can get sealed, man. Last days, this the hour. We finally here. We've been studying this for years. All of these prophecies and all of these, all of these scriptures pertaining to the law, statutes, and commandments. We keep it the feast days when they come around. Lo and behold, the scriptures say that we're going to be sealed during these feasts. Lo and behold, the scriptures say when those 4 winds get held back, we're going to be sealed. Guard your life, man. Don't be like that virgin that didn't have that oil in that lamp. And now they looking around like, who can I join to? Who can I run to get that oil? You got it. Fresh oil, fresh anointing, right now. Claim it, proclaim it. In the name of the Hamashiach and the Heavenly Father.
That's right.
Kala, Shalom.
Yes, Grand Risings, brothers and sisters out there. Greetings and salutations. I come to you in the name of Ahaya, bearing the name of Yeshua, through this precious spirit of my Father, which is his spirit, the Holy Spirit, set apart spirit. That's right, known as the Ruach HaKodesh, okay? Ruach, however people are saying it, bottom line, the spirit of our Father, all right? So we're already aware that they have very conveniently given our people the shortest month of the year for acknowledgement of Black history. And first of all, we're not Black. That's one. We are different shades of brown. And for two, our history is in the Bible. It is not in the skills of us, because that begins to come with glorifying ourselves in our captivity without our strength. We read yesterday in Deuteronomy 11, and the word says that if we do all his commandments, that he will be our strength and give us possession of the lands. So, with that being said, when they talk about Black history, they always acknowledge, the inventions and things that we did to uphold and to, help the economy or help this country, this nation, keep us oppressed, because a lot of our inventions and things that we made, we don't even uh, profit from, and so even when it comes to labels and brands and companies, the ones that are behind the distribution of these inventions that our people come up with are not brown faces. They are not the children of Jacob, but yet they profit off of our inventions. And then they want to talk about Black history. Well, I'll take you through some history, and the history of our people, which are not Black, but are very beautiful, melanated, different shades and hues of brown, and just creative skills that the Father put in us, because he called us the salt of the earth. So we're going to read today in the book of Nehemiah. All right. And before I get to Nehemiah, I really want to take you guys through Timothy really quick, because I was reading the book of Timothy yesterday, and I was really blessed. And as I pointed out in my little short clip video, that these oppressors and these demonic, masters who our people are under right now, they have always been crafty in, against our people, with our history, with our inventions, with our skills, our knowledge, our wisdom. They've always tried to keep us at a disadvantage. Give me a second. I'm going to grab something really quick. Be right back. I love it how the Father just gave me this grand idea to put up this little thing here where I'm not going to be seen, because, some little wicked spirits out here. They really think they're crafty. They think they're slick, wanting to be up in somebody's faces and trying to take pictures and images and curse people. But, you can't curse those that are blessed. And you can't, come for those that are in the secret place of the Most High. Period. And also these lustful spirits out here that like to come and stare at people's women, stare at somebody's wife and acting like they're looking for the word when they just coming to be fresh. Yeah, the Father got something for them kind of spirits. These lust-filled spirit, demonic energies trying to commit adultery with people by looking at them in their heart. They're committing adultery in their heart. He said, if you look upon a woman in lust, you have already committed adultery with her. And so I will not be partaking with any vessel who is looking to try to have thoughts of lust in their heart towards me, because I'm not the one for the nonsense. I'm really not. I fear my Father, and with that being said, I'm going to keep his commandments. So like I was stating earlier, we're going to go to 2 Timothy, just to give you an example of how even in the scriptures the apostles dealt with things that they have been blessed and skilled and chosen to bring forth in this earth during the course of their time on the planet, and how things were taken from them. And I shared some of it briefly yesterday, last night, and I'm going to go into it again. So go with me to 2 Timothy chapter 4, I believe. Blessed be Yahweh, O my soul, and all that's within me. Bless his set apart holy name. Yes, Ahaya. All right. All right. So, like I was just stating, suppose we just use example of, say, back in the days of Motown. We know that the so-called black people are actually Judah. Okay, and Judah was the tribe that was known to worship and to praise, and so the fake Jewish people who knew this basically thought to make a profit off of our people in captivity by having our people sing a strange song. You know, in the word it says that they that held us captive required us to sing a song. Let me get that scripture really quick. Bear with me. Psalm 137. Mm-hmm. It's my bookmarks at. I'll just put this one here. And we'll go to Psalm 137. This one. All right. Psalms 137, beloveds. Let's see what verse that would be. Verse 3, okay? Grand rises to my beloved brother, elder brother, highest house, brother Holly from our highest house. Welcome, brother. Yes, grand rising it is. Oh, yes, indeed it is, brother. But you know how it is. We got to come in on them, don't we? They think it's a game out here, brother. What's wrong with them? I don't know what's wrong with these heathens, but we're going to let them know what time it is today. Psalm 137, verses 3. Yes, indeed. All right. And it says, for there they that carried us away captive. Well, I want to start verse 1, if y'all don't mind. Okay. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yeah, we wept when we remembered Zion, when we remembered our homeland. We were still fresh to our ancestors, before it was beaten out of our ancestors, talking about your name shall be Toby. Mm-hmm. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and that they wasted us required of us myrrh, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing a higher song in a strange land? Now, with that being said, if we can't sing a higher song in a strange land, we don't need to be singing nothing to John Brown else, such as I'm talking about this R&Bs and the hip hops and the jazzes, and singing to pump the pockets of those who carried us away captives. There goes some black history for you there. And then they try to play this, well, black people took black people. Let me tell you something. There wasn't no black people first. See, this is what they did. They will identify all melanated nations and tribes of people by black just to keep our identity hidden. Like Africa's not a continent of different tribal people. They're all not the doggone same. Now, first of all, what gets me is that whenever they want to talk about our history, they want to go back to slavery. No. If you remember in slavery, these people came here on ships. You will not destroy this message. It's going to go forth and it shall not tarry. Hence the word of Hebrews 4:12. He gave me this right. He told me this morning. Hebrews 4:12. We're going to get to Timothy. Don't worry. Hebrews 4:12. What did it say? Yeah, they think they slick. For the word of Ahia is quick. That's right. And powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. When the word is inside of you, oh my goodness. Can you hear me now, brother? All praises. Yeah, there was a moment there. They caused my voice to go out because I was rebuking them. Yeah. So we're going to just rewind. We're going to take it all the way back. It's all good. All praises and glory to Ahia in the mighty name of Yeshua. Matter of fact, let me bring my little modem closer to me. And I already put prayer to the atmosphere, so I will not be moved, okay? I will not be moved, and I will not fear what man can do unto me, okay? Because they out here trying it, y'all. But we're going to keep it. We're going to keep our heads up. That's what we're going to do. See, they already mad. They can't stare at my face with their funny looking spirits. They already mad. I'm telling you guys, it's literally like a good about 8 steps from the doggone modem. There's no reason why I should be having these issues. When I was at my other place, my office was a whole like on the other side of the house from where the modem was, and they would do that kind of stuff when we get deep in the word. And they think they run the show, but they don't run nothing. See, even if they come up with these inventions, they can only manipulate through the power of darkness, but the power of light is stronger. So like I was saying, with Hebrews chapter 4:12, the word says that for the word of Ahia is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, of the joints and marrow, and a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So when the word of the Father is dwelling within inside of us, we are powerful, we are quick, we are sharp. You understand? We are sharp. We already know. That's why we don't be like, oh my goodness, sitting here stupid. Oh my gosh, why is my connection going down? No, I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what I'm up against. I know what this word is going to do. It's going to bring exposure to the enemy. And they don't like that. Like I was saying before, when you read in Psalms 137, it's in verse 3, it states that those that carried us away captive required of us a song. And then our ancestors said, well, if we don't remember, first of all, how can we sing a highest song in a strange land? Remember in John 4, when the woman said, but you told us in Jerusalem and the mountains where we ought to worship. Right? But he said, woman, believe me, the hour cometh and now is when you shall neither in this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship the Father. For you worship and know not what you worship. For I know what I worship. He said, salvation is of the Jews. And guess what? He said, for you must worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. For a time when we were asleep and the slumber fell upon our nation, it's like the time after we had come out of the daggone slavery times, and they called the so-called Emancipation Proclamation, right? When we were asleep and using our skills and our talents and our music and all our gifts and our salt flavor that had no flavor, but we still was flavoring this bland behind world up, this earth up. That go to show you how blessed we are. We was pumping up the pockets of the fake Jewish people or those who funded the ships to have us be sent over here. And they want to talk about oh yeah, it's black people, so black people. I would tell you like this here. First of all, we're not black. That's one. And because black doesn't have a nation on the planet where you can go to the place of black. And second of all, by identifying black, you agree, unbeknownst to you, to the acknowledgement that you are not a people. So when you come to the remembrance, like it says over here in verse what is it? 3 in Psalm 137. For there they that carry us away captive require of us a song, and they that wasted us require of us myrrh, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing a highest song in a strange land? Remember, it said, verse 1, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, we wept when we remembered Zion. Basically, we was in sorrow when we remembered Zion, when we remember where we was from. So when we was not calling ourselves black, they want us to sing them music. and entertain them and shuck and jive, be their court jesters in all of this. And our ancestors had enough sense to say, how are we going to sing you a song? Even if they say, well, this ain't talking about in America, this talking about that. Guess what? Babylon is every single place of captive. It's all of these places that it's all the people that put their hands on us and carried us away. There go your black history right there. We ain't just been slaves to America. We ain't just been slaves in the sugar canes. We ain't just been slaves out here in the daggone cotton fields. We've been slaves to all of these doggone nations who have been in the Psalm 83 Confederate Union against us. And still to this day, they benefiting off of us. They want to take us back to slavery. Like that's our history. First of all, you're not going to play us like we some daggone homeborn slaves. In other words, they want to remind you of your rebellion. Meanwhile, keep you in rebellion. Because when we was in captivity, as we were brought here because of our disobedience. We just read that yesterday, Deuteronomy chapter 11. Let me show you how you get out of being so-called a possession and you take possession. Just really quick, I'm gonna read this scripture. Then we're gonna go to 2 Timothy. Remember, family, being identified as black is allowing them to treat you as nothing. Then they want you to say, I got rights. Rights? First of all, I want to be sovereign from your constitution. In other words, stand above it. In order to be a part of, I have to be below you. I don't want to be equal to, because the word declared me above you. Come on and lift him up this afternoon, y'all. See, they want you to fight for something that you were never supposed to be a part of, with an identity that isn't even yours. So they give you your identity. They give you rights. They take it from you. Then you're supposed to fight them to be civil? Man, you made that up. Nice try. I want y'all to see my face real quick while I'm expressing this. I want them to see my face when I'm saying this. This is exactly why we don't need to be trying to march and, do all these little creative ideas, holding signs up. No, in order to get what we are deserved and owed, is get in position with the Creator. Deuteronomy 11, starting in verse 7. But your eyes have seen all the great acts of Ahiah, which he did. Therefore shall ye keep all the commandments. He said, you know how I put on this, you know how I tore up Egypt. You saw I put that smack down on Egypt, right? Yeah, right. Okay. Therefore shall ye keep all the commandments which I command you this day, that ye may be strong. So we see a nation of so-called black people who are not strong. They don't have strength against the oppressor. We don't have strength in the education system. We don't have strength in the judicial system. We don't have strength in the financial organizations. We do not have strength even in our food industry, in this food industry. We're not even capable, because how they got us in the slums and the ghettos. You don't see the way they have, there's like streets and houses, clutter. They have that all designed to keep our people agitated with one another, frustrated. If you wanted to keep a garden, you couldn't even do it. Why? Because the way they have the garbage even set up. Even the waste management people are confederate against Jacob. When they come through and pick up the trash, how they just leave stuff on the streets, and it's like they sweep the juice on the road deliberately. I have never, when I was living in the hood, I couldn't make sense of it. Since I've been living in, outer areas, I have never seen them sweep the streets with juices of garbage the way they do in our hood, especially in the summertime, to make it be putrid. But guess what? The actions of our people are just like the stench of that juice in the nostril of his nose. The disobedience of our people to keep us oppressed. You know why he's so mad? Because first of all, he's mad because my people are oppressed by these dogs here, because they don't want to obey me. And they want them to tell us what our history is. Then they try to be crafty. And look how they have progressively, the only one they acknowledge is Martin Luther King. They'll talk about what's Malcolm X, but they really exalt MLK, which was the coon who led us into the burning house. Then now they're talking about women. So that they even want to be Willie Lynch syndromes up in the remembrance of our so-called history. But how you gonna tell us about our history of when we were slaves and can't tell us how we got to be slaves in the first place? Nor acknowledge the strength of what sustained us to get out of it. Because can't no average people talk. Let me tell you something. You Jewish people with your little Holocaust whining, crying stories, y'all had to have somebody bail y'all out. We didn't see strength in your story. I don't give a John Brown what nobody talking about. Y'all cannot exhibit strength such as it was prophesied to Rebecca concerning the one of the babies in her womb, which shall be stronger than the other one, which means that baby had strength. What was that strength? When you read in Isaiah 44, he said, I have formed thee. How did he form him? What was the father forming Jacob with? He said in Romans 9 that I have made a vessel of honor. So he formed him in a vessel of honor. So the strength which was of honor. What is honorable to the Father? He said, thou Jeshurun whom I have chosen. So he chosen a vessel of honor with strength. And which means if he give this vessel honor, which is him acknowledging it and blessing it, promoting, choosing, setting apart, the strength was of the Father. That's what it is. But when Jacob began to lightly esteem his word, when our people lightly esteem his word, after we have become fat, that's what happened to our nation before. Back in the times when we were over in our homeland, in the East, before these demon dog devils brought us over here to the West. So we supposed to believe we was just Africans. It's strange for us to, they're going to say, oh, they want to make themselves identity. Why would it even be strange when we came from the East? Make you some sense, somebody somewhere. And who is all the nations trying to imitate? Even the African tribes. They want to dress like our Judah. You cannot capture rain without water in South. Yeah, I know. I wasn't in South Florida. I was in Northeast. Before we came to Pennsylvania, Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County. Yeah, they funny. You get so many rules and regulations. And mind you, by having Seminole on my mother's side, I really got a strong indignation for the oppression out there in Florida. Just wicked. You mean to tell, I used to say that. You mean to tell me the water that comes from the sky, which is in the chapter right here, I'm going to read. You mean to tell me water that the Creator provides, you want to charge me on? And you have the right to make a... I'm going to explain to you why. Come with me. Verse 8, therefore thou shalt keep all the commandments which I command you this day, that ye may be strong and go in and possess the land, whether you go to possess it. He said, wherever you go to possess the land, you're going to need my strength to possess it. Because why? And that ye may prolong your days in the land, which I highest swear unto your fathers, to give them unto them and their seed, and a land that floweth with milk and honey. For the land whither thou goest to possess it is not as the land of Egypt, from whence you came out, where thou sowest thy seed and waters with thy foot, as a garden of herbs. But the land whither ye go to possess it is a land of hills and valleys, and drinketh water of the rain of heaven. So he said, this land I'm going to take you to, I'm going to provide the water you drink. And it's going to be in your possession. So ain't nobody going to be telling you got to pay a water bill. Somebody going to tell you, you got to pay for oil to heat your house up. Nobody got to tell you that your children got to be taxed, to tell your children how they're going to be educated. Ain't none of that funny looking stuff. But for some odd reason, there's no people on this planet that he promised that are being blessed by this. No, you Jewish people, that don't apply to y'all. See, America and them other little allies is your daddy. That's your God. That's who upholds you and sustains you. That's who you cry to. That's where America been sending their money to. Your little funny looking behinds with your curly fries on the side of your head. Yes, I throw shots and I come for you every chance I get because I'm really not pressed. He said, and it shall come to pass if you shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love Ahiah your keeper, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. So it means keep his commandments with love. That means it. Do it with everything inside you. Enjoy to do his commandments, not just doing the commandments grievously, but love the word. He said that I will give you the rain in your land in his due season, the first rain and latter rain, that thou mayest gather in thy corn and thine wine and thine oil. So he said, you're going to need to obey me for the importance of your resources to come forth, which is your wine, your oil, and your corn. So that's your farm, your oil, which you cook with and stuff like that, and you keep things, all right, and your wine, which is your vintage, your vines, which is also your crops. And if you don't have water, you can't feed your crops. Water, they're gonna be thirsty. You're gonna perish. Not gonna need to be caught. It's illegal for us to drink water because some little oppressor who stole the land of Florida, it didn't belong to them. The very ones that's making up these rules and everything, they the ones that had the possession of the land because of the sin of Jacob. And when the natives were here, they were going off into idolatry. Not only were they idolizing other little strange things like worshiping the earth and the wind and all this and the third, but when the white man came, they thought the white man was God. See, there you can see the same thing Jacob did over there in the wilderness when he was trying to be cooning and reaching out for Esau. He said, I beheld thy face as though they were the Most High God, or the Most High, the great I am. No, we're not doing that. We don't see y'all as gods no more. And you know what that means? That means the fear of them would be on us. Because remember, he told us that, he said, and I will send grass in thy fields. Let me get to that part. In thy fields for thy cattle, that thou mayest eat and be full. Take heed to yourself that your heart be not deceived. Don't let your mind be deceived according to these oppressors around you. And ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. Yeah, it ain't just these idolatry. It's not just idolatry things that are people serving, but it's the ones who made them. You automatically serve the idolater when you serve the image of idolatry. And these heathens are the creators of it. That's why the word says, and they're like them, dead. I can't serve you. You dead. You can't. Would you put your own life in your hand? You can't help me now. Matter of fact, you wasted away. Matter of fact, you trying to defy age. Matter of fact, you can't stand in the sun. How in the world are you a God? How are you any way impossible superior to me? How? I tell you how. My disobedience has caused you to be in position to possess and need to perish. That's Black history. No, that's history of the chosen people. Black is a byword. He said, and then Ahiah's wrath be kindled against you, and he shut up the heaven, that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, unless ye perish quickly from off the ground, good land which Ahiah giveth you. That's the first punishment. I'm gonna shut the rain up. I'm not gonna bless your crops. Then, because this land need to be able to completely yield, I'm not gonna punish the land for your sake. Remember, I'm gonna get you out the land. Leviticus 26. Therefore shall ye lay up these words in my heart and your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that ye may be as frontlets between your eyes. Your hands bind them, which means my hands are bound to the law, because everything I put my hand to, I need to be blessed, which is one of the curses and blessings in Deuteronomy 28. That everything you put your hand to do, I will bless. But if you don't obey me, I will curse. Our hands are blessed by the obedience of what we serve, who we serve. Again, that is the chosen people's history. Known today as Black. Byword. He said, ye shall teach them to your children. Did he say, let your oppressors teach your children? And mock in their face how they oppress them and how they conquer them. by telling them the stories of Americans' history and every single little funny looking war with some funny looking pale demons on horses and stealing and taking buffaloes and killing our people and taking whiplash to our people. Some schools, they don't even teach about Black history or the chosen people's history or our oppression. You know why they stopped doing it? Because we begin to start waking up. That's why. That's the only reason why. When we begin to, by the Spirit of our Father, begin to realize why we were in slavery, they didn't want to discuss slavery no more. It was fun now, wasn't it? It was so fun. You wanted to mock us. Now we got the wisdom according to an understanding and knowledge according to your mockery show. You want to stop the show and claim, oh, we're closing. Oh, no, you ain't closing nothing. I ain't said the party is not over yet. Get out of my way and open up this daggone stage and hop me on the daggone mic and see what's so funny now. And don't come to me with no doggone Holocaust oppression. Because I didn't see strength in it. I saw a bailout by man. And that's not what the word of the Most High said. He said his people shall even rely on him for their crops from the rain. Not some other companies or some other nation bailing them out. That's not the Creator. He never needed his people to rely on another nation to get us out. Did anybody else get us out of Egypt? Did anybody else get us out of the daggone the times with Daniel when they're coming out of when sun was coming out by groups and groups and groups out of to go rebuild, such as we will be talking about today in Nehemiah? Did we? No, we did not. It was our obedience. Oh, wait, matter of fact, yes, since we're approaching Purim, did we need anybody to help us in the times of Purim, aka in the days of Esther, aka known as Hadassah, which is her real name? Esther, her Persian name. No, what did they do? What did we do? We obeyed we called unto the Father and hearkened unto him by fasting. And he heard our supplications and he delivered us. We never need no bailouts by man or their money. But he made it come unto us just because it was just increase. And thou shalt write them upon the doors posts of thy house and upon thy gates. Let it be known what you stand for, that your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children in the land, which Ahijah sware unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. For if you shall diligently keep these commandments, which I command you to do them, to love Ahijah your keeper, to walk in his ways and cleave unto him, not cleave unto oppressors, not cleave unto your own ideas of how you're going to profit, not cleave unto college, not cleave unto this stupid daggone system and the way of life, an American dream, aka nightmare. Not climbing up oppressor daddy's ladder while you climbing, you blindfolded, he taking steps out the ladder. You're like, oh, I slipped, I missed a couple steps. No, sleep one. The oppressor who made the ladder is removing things from you. So no matter how much you climb or rethink as you're climbing, you're not going to make it up there. You're not going to make it because why? The system that you're trying to climb in is a system formed of wickedness. The only way they're able to stand on their feet is to keep Jacob down, is to keep you oppressed. How you going to make it in a system that's oppressing your people? Why would you esteem to even want to be a part of a system to uphold this oppressing your people? Do you understand how quickly they would fall if our people was to say the heck with this crap? We're not doing nothing else for this system. Until you at least acknowledge, oh, what you have done. And when I mean until would be, then what we're going to do for you is put you in your rightful place and give you a good old fashioned beating like you had our ancestors beat their own children when you was tired of their crime or whatever have you made. And so-called Black history. Verse 23, he said, then will Ahijah drive out all these nations. There go the strength. There goes our strength. There goes our help. Then Ahijah, the Creator, I am that I am, will drive out all the nations from before you, and ye shall possess greater nations. He said, you shall possess greater nations. Are you tired of being their possession? So-called Black history talks about how we were great in their possession. And what good is it if I had produced peanut butter and the light switch and the car and all this if it has elevated my people? Who did it elevate? Oh, the ones in possession of the ones perishing. The children of Jacob are perishing while the children of Edom and these other nations are in possession. For the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And the enemy tempted the Yeshua, which is the creator in flesh, the living word, in the wilderness, and said, if you bow to me, I will give you all these kingdoms. So what does that mean? What did Edom do? What did all these confederate nations do in Psalm 83? Oh, they bow to the wicked one. Hence, they are in possession. Hence, what? They obey him. They're not in possession and rulership by obeying the laws of the creator. The land would be better. There wouldn't be no malicious laws formed. There wouldn't be no people being oppressed and systematic racism. It wouldn't be none of that. So it's quite clear who they worship. That's the God they believe in. Because they got profit from possessing us and causing us to be perishing. See? Now, did Black history teach you that? So-called Black history, the oppression of the chosen people, is it teaching you that? He said, he will drive out these nations from before you, and ye shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourselves. Yeah, they got the little song, don't tread on me. I beg your pardon. But the word says, every place where the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours. From the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river and the river Euphrates, even to the utmost sea, shall your coast be. So our feet did tread over here. Now did it not? I believe it did. So if our feet tread over here, here goes the blessing and the curse, y'all. Our feet tread over here cursed, right? So the land was cursed. But when our people begin to wake up and obey, that meant this is activated. So everywhere our people are walking in obedience to the Creator, we're actually marking territory for future possession and for where others need to be driven out. Oh, yes. There goes the rewards of obedience. No, I don't need my oppressor to give me no reparations. Because he already let me know no man shall buy or save you. When he said no man shall buy or save you, that meant Jewish people. No one's going to come. No troops are going to come and, provide you some ways to get out your little gas chamber, little dens or whatever. So that prophecy doesn't apply to you, Jewish people. You're not the seed of Abraham. There shall no man be able to stand before you. There goes the fear and dread upon them. See, our people, when they were not obedient to the commandments, the actual opposite of this was happening. Men were able to stand before us. And Ahiah, our helper, would lay the fear of them upon us. Now read the opposite of it. There shall no man be able to stand before you. For Ahiah, your keeper, shall lay the fear of you and the dread of you upon all the land that ye shall tread upon. As he has said unto you. He said that, notice he said that you shall tread upon. But yet the Americans' attitude is, don't tread on me. But you can tread on us. You know what you said out your mouth, Edom, when you said, don't tread on me? This is why my Father hates you. You said, your word will not stand concerning me. I will not bow. Just as the so-called 3 Hebrew boys, okay, the 3 chosen young men stood up against Nebuchadnezzar and did not bow to that image, Edom has said in his heart that I will not serve my brother. And this is another reason why he hates you. And I hate you too. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you obey the commandments of Ahiah your keeper, which I command you this day. And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of Ahiah your keeper, but turn aside out of the way, which I command you this day, and go after other gods, such as the white man. Because after all, did he not make the image of Jesus white? So what does that mean he sees himself as? Oh, he sees himself as a God, my goodness. A God that cannot withhold the sun. But see, in our word, it says that we are gods, but perish as men. What does that but perish as men be? You're supposed to be in possession. You're supposed to be reigning. You're supposed to be on top. But for some reason, you're perishing. And why are you perishing, Jacob? Because why your disobedience? Rather than in possession, you are perishing because of Deuteronomy chapter 11. And they mock you with your history. They mock us with the history saying, what? You were slaves. You are my possession. In 1672, someone made the first airplane. I don't give a John Brown about that. Did the airplane help my people get the John Brown up out of here? No, I don't care about that then. Did any of the inventions help my people wake up to who we are and get us the John Brown up out of here? No. So don't talk to me about no daggone inventions. You shut your mouth up. You funny looking devils. Then they want to talk on the news. How can we talk about, then you got these token sleep, coon, the help brothers and sisters on the news talking about how they can bring the education to schools and, enlighten. And then they talk about all people. See that? You got to catch the codes. You got to catch we're really not going to acknowledge you. Because if we do, that would allow us, those ones out there on the streets and stuff, on the internet, taken over by bulrush fires, talking about they're the chosen people. That's going to make the fire even worse. So we're going to talk about all people. Boy, y'all just never cease to amaze me. You're not slick. Because all peoples is not cursed, nor have an agreement with the Creator as being blessed by obeying his commandments. Not all people received his word. Not all people was at the Mount Sinai. Not all people came out of Egypt. Get that through your brain. And I don't give a John Brown if there's a remnant that came out. In regards to, that's a remnant of people that chose to come out. So their seed, then by their agreement, all the heathens that's called by his name, that their children are going to wake up and come back. Because the blood was on them, sprinkled on them. That's the reason why. But majority of it at the end of the day is still Jacob. And that none of these nations are going to be able to ignore and replace and deny. Because we are a multitude which cannot be numbered. You got to understand, when you understand we are a multitude which cannot be numbered, and only a remnant of us are going to come out, wherein do you other nations come in? See, our people are oppressed by not keeping the commandments. If these other countries are third world, that's just because the same one suppressing us. He just was greedy. He just couldn't stay in his own land. He just, after oppressing Jacob, went over there and oppressed them too. That just goes to show how wicked Edom is. That's all that is. Now, come over here with me. Let's go to Timothy. Let's go to 2 Timothy to show you similarities, how even the apostles suffered their things that the Father had brought forth through them, their gifts and their talents and skills, and their anointing and the power he gave them, how it was taken from them. Come with me really quick. 2 Timothy chapter 2, chapter 4. Over here, verse 14. He says, Alexander the coppersmith did me much evil. Why he do that, Paul? What happened? Oh, I tell you, the sovereign reward him according to his works. What did he just do? He released his judgment on him before the day of judgment did. So in other words, those who have the power and the word within them and they obey it, they got the right to do what now? Every tongue risen against them and every action and deed done against them, they can do what? Condemn. And every sin they can what? Either forgive or unforgive. Alexander the coppersmith did me much evil. The sovereign reward him according to his word. Well, what happened? Verse 15. Of whom be thou aware also. He said, beware, yo. Take heed. Don't deal with him, in other words. What they call that? Blackout. We're not supporting him no more. Just like in the summertime, when our people will stop supporting certain businesses that wasn't supporting our people. The wave went, then it went down. Soon as the holidays came and checks started coming, people started forgetting about what they were standing for. When they got the battery pack back in the cannon to say, "Come on, can you help rock them to sleep?" They were putting things in the media. The Jewish people who did what? Funded the slave ships. Why would they do that? Because their lie has begun to be revealed. They were beginning to be seen for who they truly are. And they didn't want that. Talk about some Black history. I kiss my tail. Okay, verse 15. Of whom be thou aware also, for he have greatly withstood our words. He said, greatly withstood our words. Well, was there a video, a DVD? What you mean to tell me? Did he do a little what's that move? Odell from Motown and gave it over here to what's that white man named there? Baby. What's that white man named, that rock star white man who like a funny looking thing with the little hair? He always be promoted over there in Vegas. What's that funny looking demon's name, y'all? Somebody help me with that man's name. Hold on. Elvis Presley. Thank you, Father. Father brought it to me. Elvis, yeah, that demon. He took a lot of the stuff that came from the brothers, brother Odell or Otis, from over there out of Motown. Okay. And guess what? All the prophet of Judah require us to sing a song, because they said they require of us to sing a song. Why? Because Judah is the worshipers. Judah is the singers. Look right now in the music industry. Which ones produce the most? That's right, Princess of the East, Presley, his funny looking self. Nobody really be pressed about no country music awards, or don't nobody really be pressed about no country blues and all that nonsense, or rock and roll. That's not talent. And a lot of their skills when they get little hits is when they try to have Judah, which is a so-called black person, feature on their song, or somebody write their music, which is Judah, or they listen to our stuff and get ideas from it. Just like the Beach. What was the? Take me back a little further, y'all. Take me back. The Beach Boys. What was that group called, y'all? Because they copied off of the Father, help me. We're talking about withholding our words to do what? When they withhold the words, what are they doing? They're trying to put it in a factory for them to be the producers of. This was a little group of little white boys anyway, okay? And even Chinese people did it too. You Chinese, you wash pots did it too. Y'all ain't slick. Stealing from the children of Jacob. We also know that the martial arts was also of our people. It's another thing. You heathens are not inventors of nothing. Every time where the salt went and the flavor was at, these ones who had us in possession took notes, which is wrote things in their record, studied us, and then when they released us, wanted to be the ones. See, I'm the one that did it. See, I'm the inventor. No, you're not. See, even Paul said here, their words was held. So we know the apostles, he's writing a letter here. So we know that when he was writing down certain things as the Father was giving him the word, these demon dog devils was not allowing the word to be printed and produced. Just like they took books out the Bible. And we got funny looking sleep people talking about, were there books missing out the Bible? Come on now, use your brain. You don't even know who you are. You're going to question if there's not books missing in the Bible. We supposed to really believe the Most High only going to leave 66 books. I don't even like the sound of that. When we know the number of man is 666. Come on now. Or when you read in the scriptures, see, they wouldn't have that precept, because when Esdras had to write, it took him and 5 other ones to write 122 books. 122 books, family. We're reading out of the Gospels. They're actually letters. These are not even the true, complete, or all. This ain't even the tea of what the apostles was doing on the scene. No. That's why he said, blessed is the man who don't take away from the prophecies of this book. And that was a straight direct rebuke for Revelation. In other words, try it. Try and not allow the image of the word for my children to even have a reference of what my image is. You think you're going to have it whitewashed that bad? You crazy. And guess what? The Father didn't allow them to. So that goes to show you how powerful our strength is in our Father. So when you think about so-called Black history, even with the Aunt Mama situation, you got Quaker Oats. You got all these different things that they would remove the history. And what else they would have too, y'all? Remember that time with the pine saw? And they always had that one sister on there with the locks. They was mocking us. But what was that one cleaning company where it was like a sister on it, like an Angie Mama, where she was a cleaning? I can't remember, but some things be coming in my spirit. Bottom line, family, they want us to be remembered as slaves, low, beneath them, so that your history can remind you that they are great. That history is supposed to, each generation, keep our people with a mindset of, oh yes, the boss said, well, you say. But there is a generation that shall show forth his praise. And we're not for that. We're going to, by the Spirit of our Father, we're going to go through these scriptures, and we're not going to see no more white mommy and white daddy. And white mommy and white daddy can't tell us nothing either. Give y'all an example yesterday. Went down to Dollar General to get me some ends and ahs for the house. And it was about $99 of stuff. Zion normally comes with me, but he didn't come with me this time. So I'm in there, and the man, our own people, well, so-called brother, perceiving by, melanation, everything, tells me, I've been in this Dollar General before, and I've never been told I can't take my cart out the store. He says, you can't take the cart out the store. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, so, me being, because my nature is I'm a peacemaker. So I was like, all right, so I'm trying to carry stuff. Mind you, I had paper towels and toilet paper. Those two things alone is impossible to carry. What am I supposed to do? Carry this stuff like this, have bags on my hands, and I can't even see the door? So I said, you know what? I'm going to just bring the cart back. He was like, no. I said, like I said, I'm going to bring this cart back. As soon as I went out the store and I went to my truck, Father had the sunshine light. That's right, daughter. Now you're seeing it's not just a white man. It is a spirit that is strong in this place that wants to cause my chosen people who got the light in them to be oppressed. And standing against that oppressive spirit is righteous. And I brought that cart back when I was done. And I said to him, I heard the song, that spirit that said, we ain't no slaves, man. You got to wake up, from the One Brother song. So I said, I ain't no slave. You better wake up. And put that cart right back where it was at. I'm the kind of person where I would deliberately stand by and see if they tell a white person to you can't take the cart. Because I had to rebuke another one who happened to have a Star David around his neck at the Walmart. And he allowed a white person to walk in the park when they had by the Walmart. God's your channel. Okay, well, welcome, Ace Jones. Greetings and salutations to you as well. So he had there was, like, remember at Walmart how the signs was blocked off and everybody had to go in one side. So this big brother who happened to be from the same tribe as me, Benjamin, with a whole Star Day around his neck, go and tell. As soon as I walked, I saw, because mind you, I saw it. I was coming from behind you. So I walked in the same exit like the other white people did. He said, man, you guys, don't you say nothing to me, because you just I said, hush your mouth up, coon. You just let these white people go through here. You gonna tell me I can't go through here? We are definitely royalty. In other words, you're not going to tell me nothing. Because my Father is the possessor of this earth. And because I am his child that obey him, I am everywhere I go, I run the scene. They don't get Deuteronomy 11 is activated for the obedient ones. I'm not subject to you slaves and to you servants. I don't care. That's why one of my was like, I said, I'm not a slave. I don't pay taxes. Bosses don't pay taxes. So in other words, yeah, I know when I go to the store and I make a purchase, and tax me. In other words, what I'm saying is, in other words, I'm not going to allow you to subject me to unnecessary oppressive measures. You got me chopped. I am native, so-called African American. Because I asked the Father, he told me. That's how. Not a chart, not a man. Yeah, the same one who teaches and leads me and guides me into all truth, my Father, from whence I was sent, above. You are native, a so-called African American. Okay. So you are an original a descendant of the land. Are you keeping the commandments? Have you taken back possession by obedience? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about building. That's what I'm about. I'm about building my people up. But how? See, in order to build, just like he told Jeremiah, that you got to tear down kingdoms, speak against kings, uproot and build and plant. So that's what the elect's on the scene to do. Are you in agreement with the building process? And where do you stand, my beloved brother? So check it out. As he's putting this comment, we're going to finish reading the 2 Timothy chapter 2. Positivity. So positivity. That's cute. I like that. Do you understand when you mix positive with negative, you get a charge like a battery. You don't never seen a battery with just positive on it, do you? No, not that high. So we got to understand the importance of is spiritual warfare. Absolutely. Absolutely is spiritual warfare. But guess what? Things that are in the spiritual, see, like the word says, in the beginning was the word, right? Everything that we see was made by his word, and not anything that is made was made without his word. So we understand warfare is also going to manifest in our life. When we disobeyed our creator, we began to be possession of the oppressors. So we're going to take back the possession by obeying these commandments. And then therefore, these dogs automatically fall into place. See there? I like that. That's beautiful. The negative was I was a slave, but the positive is I'm sovereign because I'm born again and I no longer am identified by my dead man, which was birthed into the kingdom of wickedness, formed in iniquity in my mother's womb. You know what I'm saying? Do you think UFOs are fallen angels? First of all, I don't think. I must be able to prove all things. If there's anything I'm unsure of, I will not speak, because why? That comes into the lines of bearing false witness. So I'm very cautious of the commandments. Now I know why my father gave me this song this rising. He said to me, guard your light. I want to play a song really quick. I just played. It's really, really short. And he said to me, always watch your energy when people come around, right? Because see, my father, when he told me, he was like, first thing he said was up. I'm like, all right, Father. Next thing he gives me a song. With this song, I already get direction on what we're going to be talking about today. Then we just go from there. So no, chariot is not a fallen angel, to answer your question, according to what you were intending to say, or what you probably mean. But they, first of all, they're not unidentified. They're unidentified to the son of perdition, aka the children of the fallen. All right. By how are they the children of the fallen? Because they worship the fallen angels. So all of those who are worshipers of man and things of man, that it's man's inventions, which is man's lies, they believe that they're fallen angels, and they cannot identify with these things. But I, who have the spirit of my Father inside of me, who leads me and guides me into all truth, has identified to me what they actually are. And those vehicles are actually the mobile transports of the angels of the Most High. And they're not fallen. Because the fallen ones are literally that. They cannot fly again. And you can get the lyrics in that out of Kevin Gates' song, Fly Again song. Don't listen to it. Put it on mute. Look up the lyrics and see how he's crying and whining and booing if he could possibly fly again. So let me play this song real quick, y'all. Pardon this ad. Listen to these songs. Listen to this song. Take heed. Brought to you by Humble for y'all.
Always asking questions, but they never ask you how. First they watch you build it, then they try to tear you down. Always watch your energy.
This doesn't apply to anyone intentionally. This is just listen to the lyrics.
I feel like the rockers I've been going to like. I feel like the rockers I was born to fight. Hey, can't let no jabroni take what the most I gave me. Caution, reach your hand. Hey, Zion, let me at them now, cause obviously they not hearing me. Why you always gotta come around trying to use me for my energy? You acting like you're not paralyzed, but deep down you're not feeling me. Your presence is a sickness. When you come around, you're not healing me. It's simple. Come against me, the most I come against you. It's simple. Them laws and my Shiach don't represent you. It's simple. You sinful, that word top like against you. It's simple. You stand food, I'm like what's on the menu, yeah. They think they make up to me, I see through your Maybelline. Spirit create my faith, I call it Maybelline. He turning his meek to million, that's why he chasing dreams. This is not landscaping, we do not chase the green. But the most high is awesome, and if you in doubt while you talking, I'm on a path that want me off it. The lake of fire where they toss them, tell them repent very often. If they ignore it, will it cost them? Demons can't stop it, we exhausted. Don't interrupt me while I'm talking with questions. Always asking questions, but they never ask you how. First they watch you build it, and they try to tear you down. Always watch your energy when people come around. Silence be more than words, so I do not make a sound. I feel like the rockers I've been going by like. I feel like the rockers I was born to fight. Hey, can't let no jabroni take what the most I gave me. Caution, reach your hand.
Now, he told us that we're the light of the world, right, family? And we got to guard what he gave us, right? Taking our light is the same as them over here in Psalm 137. For they that carried us away captive required of us a song. Our voice and our everything about Jacob was meant to give back to he that put inside of us, not to squirt jest and shuck and jive and be the help over here to our oppressors who carried us away. No, I'm not singing for you. I'm not shucking and jiving for you. I'm not going to help and uphold you. I'm going to guard what he gave me, and unto him I'm going to give. Sing a song of Zion. Why? So you can take the lyrics down like people did with the Elvis Presley them, and then you can produce it later on. I kid y'all not. There was a father gave me a song. Every single song I ever put on this channel was given to me by the influence of my father through his holy set apart spirit. And I had somebody literally report my video because I was singing and tried to say it was a copyright. And the very demon that was amongst me was like, yeah, they said this song was copyright. Didn't even know the one who was proceeding to act like he was here to help was actually the one that was behind the scene causing the issues. Like he said, first they watch you build it, then they try to tear you down. That's our oppressors. They watched us. They required of us a song. Then they tear us down by our very, very songs that they tell us to sing. How did they do that? They cause people to sign contracts to sing, for sisters to be silly and simple and to be whores and harlots, for our men brag about shooting and slinging that dope and dice games and killing your man. He said throw him a chain and all that dumb stuff. In other words, rap about the evil eye. I'm gonna need you. Unbeknownst to them, they got a chart of the curses, so we're gonna need them to do some singing about I don't give a darn about my mama. Disrespect. We gotta put some disobedience to the parents. So act like a ruly child who like just have your hair all kind of colors and just look psychotic, like you ain't have no jurors, like you ain't come from a mother and a father, like you just a gender neutral type of demon. Do you see the agenda of them watching us and taking what we have been given as talents and skills to then destroy us by? This is why we have to give back to the Creator. Now let's go to Nehemiah chapter 4. Talking about staring at us and watching us. Oh, funny watchers. What they look and have themselves. What they look and have themselves. That being mine. Nehemiah chapter 4. But it came to pass that when Sanballat heard that we builded the wall, he was wroth. Oh no, they got a defense up. Oh no, they're starting to keep the commandments. Oh no, they found out that they're not black, that they're the children of Jacob, and then they're out here exposing us and rebuking us and calling us the synagogue of Satan. Oh no. He was wroth and took great indignation and mocked the Jews. So then comes a mocking, which is, let's put some more commercial ads up to mock them and to keep them asleep. One of the mocking examples would be making our people like look stupid in the commercials, or like show forth a person who's asleep. So the nations can be like, they're not really woke. Or let's get them a check. They'll be down there buying, or let's put out on the news, let's promote the ones who are still disobedient. So the nation can say, this is not those chosen people. Look how they behave. And even laugh at us and have our own, put up videos such as, you know, talk about GMS and One West camps, like that's the whole people. Man, shut your mouth up, move over. It's enough of us awoke that you can see that we're not from no camp. We have taken over. It's enough of us woke now. You don't need to refer to nobody's camp if you really want to know what time it is. Verse 2, and he spake before his brethren and the army of Samaria and said, what do these feeble Jews? Oh, feeble. Did he say people with strength? So we just read out of Deuteronomy 11 that which will cause us to have strength, obeying his commandments and give us possession. So they're like, they were feeble due to what? Disobedience. So he said, what are these? In other words, what are these disobedient heathen like people think they're doing? Trying to have an identity of greatness, trying to talk about wisdom and knowledge like they know something. What do you think they're doing trying to have a defense? You're not supposed to have a defense. I'm supposed to be able to smack you upside your head and you say, yes, boss, yes, I'm master. Why are you standing up against me like a Nat Turner? I think I'm going to stay in Nehemiah 4 real quick. That's what I think. No, matter of fact, I know I'm going to stay in Nehemiah chapter 4. That's what I know. We're not going to be asking questions while I'm talking. Don't interrupt me with questions while I'm talking. That wouldn't be a good look for you. Because what happens is you're trying to disturb the flow of my Father's spirit, and he will deal with you on that. That's a warning. Back to verse 2. And he spake before his brethren in the army of Samaria and said, what do these feeble Jews? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end in a day? And hold on, let me go back real quick to 2 Timothy, just to give you another little understand what I have graduated from. I literally graduated. I even got a whole certificate in my Father's wisdom and what I will be doing and what I will not be doing, according to 2 Timothy chapter 4. Oh no, it's chapter 2 actually. Starting over here, it says in verses 22, it says, "Flee also youthful lusts, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the sovereign out of a pure heart. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strifes." In other words, strifes put us in prison. So I got to be free. So it's just like the apostles. They couldn't deal with certain things because they couldn't be in prison, because if they was in prison, the work was going to be withheld. So strife puts me in prison. As an elder prophet did warn me, do not entertain strifes or anything like that. Keep yourself away from that kind of stuff, because you got to be free. And the devil always trying to put us in snare. I'm good. So a servant of the higher must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach and patient. But I'm going to be patient and apt to teach those who call on the higher, the sovereign, out of a pure heart. And if I discern through the spirit your heart's not pure, I'm not entertaining you. Back to Nehemiah 4. So he says, what do these people Jews? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end in a day? Will they revive the stones out of the heaps of the rubbish which are burned? Mocking us, questioning, trying to understand, how is this going to be? You know, as he's mocking, these questions show me that he's really shook. He's really scared. There's some people on the internet talking about things. We got to shut them up. They're shook. 700 Club, you tried it. Y'all shook. Jewish people, y'all tried it. Y'all shook. All y'all, you Christians, y'all asking questions. Y'all shook. Y'all look like Sanballat over here in Nehemiah 4. watching unto trying to figure out how we building. Now Tobiah the Ammonite was by him, and he said, even that which they build, if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone wall. So now they basically toning and making fun of the very attempts of this, the foundation of which they're going to build the wall by. Unbeknownst to them. Verse 4, hear, O our keeper, for we are despised. We're not favored amongst nations. We're not liked. Any religion, such as example, I'm going to put on a chopping block, Christianity, or anything that's not even Christianity. Any mindset or understanding of knowledge and wisdom according not to the truth is going to cause our people to be despised. The chosen people. Now put that example. If the chosen people are admired and loved by all people according to a knowledge and wisdom, that's not the knowledge and wisdom of the Creator. So all Christians been like, the Jewish people are his chosen people. That's not the truth. Because where in this word did you read other nations was like, those are the chosen people. Send some money to them. Let's go over here and try to get them to love Jesus. Let's convince them, which you're supposed to believe that they have more of the word than you, but you got to convince them to see someone who was prophesied to them to come. You didn't even have the prophecies, so-called. Yet you're going to convince them to receive him. But if you receive not the Son, the word says that the Father will not receive you. You cannot come unto the Father. See, I can't with that. Moving along. And turn their reproach upon their own head and give them for a prey in the land of captivity. And this right now I declare upon every single person who despises this truth and the work of those trying to build. So now, O Ahijah, in the mighty name of Yeshua, my Savior, hear thou in heaven, for we are despised according to the salvation that you have redeemed for us, have restored for us. And turn their reproach upon their own head and give them for a prey in the land of captivity. That's the same as Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. That's the same in Deuteronomy 11, when he said, I will put the fear of and the dread upon of you on the land. And cover not their iniquity, and let not their sin be blotted out from before you. For they have provoked thee to anger before the builders. Coming after the builders, you're provoking the Creator unto anger. Being a distraction. If they can't tear it down, they want to stop the process. And if they can't stop the process, they want to wait till it's built to try to speak ill against it or promote lies against it. In their attempts to still tear it down. So we built the wall, and all the wall was joined together unto the half thereof. For the people had a mind to work. So where's your minds at? I can tell where a person's mind's at according to when they come here and their questions and their statements. It lets me know where their mind's at. You think because you agree with me, or you might say, yeah, whatever, the third, I'm supposed to be pressed. Even if you said and your name was titled Ahijah something somewhere, the great I am, I'm supposed to jump and be like, yay, hi. Example here, this individual couldn't even agree. Comes out the woodwork telling me what to try watching. In other words, giving me instruction. Trying to play my Holy Spirit. Trying to play my Father. When he doesn't even know my steps are ordered and my time is monitored. Verse 6, and he already gave me warning before I even came on here. So I was expecting one of these demons to try today. I'm looking for y'all. So built we the wall. Yeah, anyway, just like over here, 2 Timothy's, we're going to go right back to Timothy's, chapter 2. Go with me to 2 Timothy's. I should have. I want to open it. But it's all good. I'll toss back and forth. It's not. He said, go up a little bit. But shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more unrighteousness. Get away from vain stuff. It's just unprofitable, you know. And their word will eat as do with a canker, of whom is Hymenaeus and Philetus, which was these two individuals. You come over here, Second Timothy, chapter 1, verses 15. They said, "This thou knowest, that all they which are in Asia be turned away from me, of whom are Pelagus and Hermes." So these two individuals was turning people away from Apostle Paul by their cankerous words, talking about the resurrection is not. Come over here, back to Second Timothy chapter 2. And their word will eat as do with a canker, verse 17, of whom Hermes and Philetus, who concerning the truth have erred, saying that the resurrection is past already, and overthrow the faith of some. People coming with other doctrines and gospels outside of the truth. People with error, trying to disturb the builders. Verse 19, nevertheless, the foundation of a higher standeth sure. Anyway, the foundation of the word standeth sure, having this seal. A higher knoweth them that are his, and let everyone that nameth the name of the Messiah depart from iniquity. Back to Nehemiah 4. Oh, blessed be a higher. Oh, my soul, and all that's within me. Bless his holy name. In him I shall be confident. But it shall come to pass that when verse 7, but it came to pass that when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were made up and that the breaches began to be stopped, then they were very wroth. Oh no, they got very mad. They're very feeling in their feelings, and conspired all of them together to come and to fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. Nevertheless, because understand, when Jerusalem, when the people, the real chosen people stand up, that means all those who were benefiting and possession of their oppression and their perishing is going to be put in their place, and is going to be checked, and is going to reap what they sowed. And conspire all of them together to come and fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. They come with strife. Nevertheless, we made our prayer unto Ahijah and set a watch against them day and night because of them. Anyway, we went to our Father and set a watch. But see, nowadays, our Father is the watchman for us. He has angels standing in the booth with us, going to and fro throughout the land, handling things. They show up on things concerning the Father's children. They make things happen. And Judah said, the strength of the barriers of burdens is decayed, and there is much rubbish, so that we are not able to build the wall. And our adversary said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst among them. So in other words, they're not going to know who we are. We're going to look like we're going to say, hey, shalom to you and all that. And the third, put on a little, meat tree and put some fringes on and greet you and all this and shake hands with you. What's up, brother? What's up, sister? How you doing? Shalom and all this kind of stuff. You ain't going to know till I come amongst you. In other words, I'm going to be in the midst of you. Just like today, America don't even know they got some adversaries amongst them on their own soil, meanwhile plotting against them. And I ain't one of them, but I know what the word says concerning these funny looking devils out here. One, I'm not the teacher, the Holy Spirit is. 2, I move as he commands me. 3, if you ask a question, when you ask questions, I answered you. 4, I'm reading the word. No problem. Welcome. But I must stay at task. In the Bible. Yeah, see, this is one thing about me, family. Let your questions, if they're not in task with the lesson, stay at the end. I always say at the end of my videos, if there's any questions or comments, this is a time to do so. Nobody really has anything to say. But yet when I'm doing my Father's work, and if you said you watch my channel, then that means you should know that. In other words, if you have the Holy Spirit inside of you, my Father's Spirit, he would tell you, don't interrupt. Because the Spirit will not go against the Spirit. All right. Now, so they said, and our adversary said, they shall not know neither see till we come in the midst among them and slay them and cause the work to cease. Just like another one. All praises. Thank you for that. Appreciate that, Ace Jones. I had another vessel came amongst me, hidden, tried to remain hidden after being rebuked. What the proper righteous thing would have been to do was to first come and acknowledge and say, hey, so and so, I repented for that. Thank you for that rebuke or whatever have you. And then put up a video in providing fruits. Because the video that this individual vessel put up got rebuked. After that rebuke, I no longer watch that individual. Neither was I subscribed to it. See, I don't tolerate the nonsense. Once I see some fruit that's not of my Father, I'm gone. I'm done. I'm out. I'm at this point, I only got one brother I watch, and that's Ahia's house. That's the only brother I watch. I don't really watch nobody else. You know why? Because first of all, I don't have time to. And second of all, the reason why I don't is because I done already seen a lot of people, they compromise with my Father's Spirit. And I'm not going to allow anyone to cause my Father's Spirit to be vexed within me. I have to give an account for that. And if I'm watching you, it's not because I'm really probably being edified. The Father might have me be watching you for a soon word to bring. Or secondly, you might even have something for me. There's an individual I watch, and they don't even state the same name my Father states. And they're in direct, deliberate defiance according to it. And that's their problem. I've already spoke what I had to speak to concerning that individual. That blood's not on my hand. But reverse says that the gifts come without repentance. And I'm watching how comfortable this individual can operate in their gifts in defiance. And I'm like, wow. I'm really impressed at how people can cooperate with pagan rituals. It's wow. But you know what I realized? See, like I said, 2 Timothy caused me to grow up, man. I really had to grow up. It said, in 2 Timothy 2, it said, a servant of Ahia must not strive, but be gentle unto all men and apt to teach, patient, and meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves. If Ahia peradventure will give them repentance, if he will give them. See, I told y'all, repentance is not something somebody can say, I repented or I got or I obtained. It is given to the acknowledging of the truth. See, repentance comes by the acknowledging of the truth, right? And that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will. So them being slick and saying the name or coming back with a little strong quote or whatever however they do what they do, it's really not snaring me. It's really not opposing me. They're opposing themselves. That's the reality of it. And that's why you're like, you know what? I can't even argue with you because it's a shame. It's like a person who's drowning. Like, you're going to try to take me down with you. You don't even know how to swim, but I'm trying to save you, yet you're going to try to drown me. And it's not intentional. It just happens because they're so ecstatic when they're in the water. And living in Florida for some time, we know that was a course they made you learn in school because the death rates, according to drowning, was crazy a year. So in other words, they realized, okay, a lot of people are drowning. We got to educate. So a lot of people are asleep. It's time to teach. I be the vessel that the Father works through. For the works it's not of my own works, but it is of him that called. Second Timothy is really beautiful. This whole word is beautiful. Back to Nehemiah 4. All right. Verse 12. And it came to pass that when the Jews which dwelt by them came, they said unto us 10 times, from all places whence ye shall return unto us, they will be upon you. They're like, they kept on trying to hinder them by reports of evil. They had everything against them. This is how the builders are. This is what happens. Your own speak ill. And in mind, what did it say? And Judah said, the strength of the barriers of burdens is decayed, and there is much rubbish, so that we are not able to build the wall. So we had our own speaking against ourselves. Us. That's no faith right there. The unbelieving, the fearful and the unbelieving, which shall not inherit. Not saying Judah is not going to inherit. It's what I'm saying is that's a mindset. Notice it says Judah, but it's not talking about everybody. You gotta remember, our oppressors printed these words out. Okay. Verse 13. Therefore set I in the lower places behind the wall, and on the higher places I even set the people after their families with their swords, their spears, and their bows. So our people wasn't going for that nonsense. Oh, they want to stop us from building? All right, well, it's gonna be blow for blow then. You want to hinder me from getting the kingdom? You want to try to contend with me? You unclean spirits? You want to try to oppose me? You want to challenge my faith in my Father? Well, you're going to get these hands down. And my Father's still going to deal with you. It'd be a shame if somebody gets trashed and they still got to be cursed. Father still to take their life after being trashed. It's a darn shame. But the word told us to be gentle with those who call on the name. See, Nehemiah couldn't be positive and couldn't be gentle with these devils that's trying to oppose him. See, this is when you come with, this is where your balance at. This is where understanding and wisdom coming in. If I'm trying to build for the glory of my Father and somebody wants to stop me from building, what am I dealing with? Warfare, a spiritual warfare that has manifested in the flesh to oppose my works. That's not going to be. That's not going to be. We're not having that. That's the mindset that you got to have. He said, who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? That means someone's got to stand against somebody else's work while they're trying to stand against your work. And I looked and rose up, verse 14, Nehemiah 4, and said unto the nobles and to the rulers and to the rest of the people, be not ye afraid of them. What he said? Don't be scared of them. And trust me, he didn't say be ye. That's English. When he said no thines and the thous and the arts and the, he said, yo, don't be scared of them. However tribally he said it. At whatever tribal rhythm he said it. In other words, he said it with flavor. And he said, do not be afraid of these dog devils. In that order. Remember Ahiah, which is great and terrible. You better remember your help. And fight for your brethren, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your houses. So they was trying to say, oh, let's go over here and mess with the people. So we know this. Okay, so it was like Benjamin, Levites, it was some Reubenites, it was some Gadites, it was some Ephraimites, it was probably some Naphtali over there helping with the building the wall, right? So let's go in their land and start messing with their families to make them come away from what they're doing to go handle this. That's what these wicked enemies was doing. But what did Nehemiah say? Don't be afraid of them. Remember Ahiah, the great I am, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your houses. And it came to pass when our enemies heard that it was known unto us, they thought, and they will not know when we come unto them. They thought we didn't know, but when it came to pass when our enemies heard that it was known unto us, and our keeper had brought their counsel to naught, that we returned all of us to the wall, every one unto his work. So when we realized what they was trying to do by attacking our houses and everything like that, and our vineyards and things of our possessions to make us leave the work, and we returned back to doing the work, and it came to pass that time forth that the half of my servants wrought in the work, and the other half of them held both the spears and shields and the bows and the harpendrums, and the rules were behind all the house of Judah. They which builded the wall. See, it was Judah, right? Where the scepter shall not depart from, where the lawgiver is coming from out of. They which builded on the wall, and they that bear burdens with those that laid it, everyone with one of his hands wrought in the work, and with the other hand held a weapon. In other words, we're going to do this work, and we're going to put somebody to sleep if needs be. And trust me, they want to talk about, well, they don't wrestle against flesh, but I don't really think they want to wrestle with the spiritual giants the Most High got out here. I don't think they really want that work, because they're not equipped. They don't got no armor on. They coming in the field acting silly, like it's a daggone circus out here, like it's a game out here. Going full around, get their head cut off and their limbs torn asunder. Running home to their family. I don't know what happened to me. Like them demons jumped on the one man trying to cast out demons. He said, I know the Messiah. I know Paul. But who the John Brown is you? And jumped on and rent those people out of their clothes. They quick to tell somebody, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. This is spirit for we fight against flesh, like something spirit. But you can't even see the spirit that you subject to, though. That's the point I'm trying to figure out. How you gonna fight in a war when you can't recognize your opponent? But you can see me trying to open the eyes of my brother and sister and try to stop me. And I'm talking to these heathens out here who got battery packs and my brothers and sisters to come against me while I'm trying to build. And not only that, but brothers and sisters or even heathens that speak against our people out of ignorance, snaring and opposing their own selves. For the builders, everyone had his sword girded by his side, and so builded. He that sounded the trumpet was by me. And I said unto the nobles and to the rulers and to the rest of the people, the work is great and large, and we are separated upon the wall, one far from another. In what place, therefore, ye hear the sound of the trumpet, resort ye thither unto us. Come here. In other words, he had a place where they were meeting at. Place where you're discussing with them. He said, this is where you're going to come to when you hear the trumpet blown. And our keeper shall fight for us. So when people all through the internet talking about, I heard a trumpet. Do you understand what that trumpet's telling you? That trumpet sound is basically saying our Savior is upon approaching to fight for his chosen. That's when the battle's going to begin. And everybody outside of his way and his word is going to be destroyed. That's when Isaiah 63 is going to be activated. Coming out of Edom, dripped in blood. He coming out of Mount Seir to destroy. He coming onto Mount Seir to destroy. He ain't coming to beat nobody up in no sky and play with y'all. Y'all not going nowheres. You're going to be destroyed. You cannot escape. You will not escape. There is no escape for you. You shall pay. Almost done. Verse 22. Likewise, at the same time, said I unto the people, let everyone with his servant lodge within Jerusalem, that in the night they may be a guard to us and labor on the day. So neither I nor my brethren, nor my servants, nor the men of the guard which followed me, none of us put off our clothes, saving that everyone put them off for washing. I want y'all to look at that. He said, put on the full armor. In other words, don't put off your armor, the shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness, your feet shod with peace, your helmet of salvation, your sword, which is the word, unless you are becoming and need to be washed, which means unless you need to be cleansed. In other words, you can't be a soldier if you're unclean, because you're going to be disabled. You're going to be handicapped out here trying to fight. That's why you can't serve him unclean. Because the enemy sees that. Now, take it there's no questions now at this point. Are there any questions, comments, or remarks? Anything to be asked? This is the time to do so. Obviously not. All praises, glory, and honor to my Father in the mighty name of Yeshua. I'm going to go ahead and depart. Family, I pray that this word was edifying to you and open your eyes, that you see the real history. And in history, yeah, we were slaves, but why were we slaves? Due to our rebellion and disobedience to the Creator, which caused us to be in possession, perishing and possessed by these nations. And if you no longer want to be their possession, but take back possession by obedience and authority, then you keep the commandments and live, or you will remain cursed. Before Balaam, he said it before you. Ain't no way around it. You can't elevate in this kingdom outside of the curse. You're going to still remain cursed. And they know that. So at that point, they're going to just take your soul. And the word says, what shall it gain a man to lose his soul, to gain the whole world? What are you going to gain then when you ain't even got your soul? Think about that. Peace and blessings, family. So be it.